Our research proposal is concerned with emerging infectious diseases. In Southeast Asia and in Singapore, I think we're particularly sensitive to these because of recent events like SARS. We confront dengue every day here, Nipah virus. And the challenge with emerging infectious diseases is their unpredictability and their complexity. We have some ideas or a general grasp of what's driving this emergence, and they tend to be things like urbanization, large population densities, deforestations, loss of biodiversity. We have a pretty good grasp of that, but our capacity to actually quantify that is limited. And without an ability to quantify that, we're limited in our ability to make any kind of evidence-based decisions or inform policy. So our study is aimed at taking a unique approach to this, using the idea of indicator species and pathogens. It's not necessarily a novel approach in and of itself, in that we've always used this canary in the gold mine. We use sentinel animals to see when a disease emerges in a new area. We want to take this idea and study it in depth in Singapore along these interfaces between natural and human environments. And we combine that with a spatial framework so we can understand these distributions. The nice part about adding a spatial framework to this is that we can integrate information from very different contexts, since these problems may include social factors, economic factors, biological factors. That type of framework allows us to integrate these on top of each other. So we are combining the use of indicators across these interfaces with a spatial framework to get a better idea of what's the risks with emergence and transmission of these diseases. The immediate impact from this is being able now to target our surveillance to areas that we think are in increased risk. It's a very useful thing, very dramatic thing for policymakers to have a map of areas where we think are at increased risk. Beyond that, it gives us an opportunity to look at a new way to investigate the risk associated with these diseases, because they are unpredictable. We don't have the capacity. So it gives us a new way to start investigating the underlying dynamics that might be driving this. Emerging infectious diseases are intrinsically a multidisciplinary problem with social, biophysical, economic, ecological contexts. And similar to NIHA, we realize this and the complexity that this involves, and that in order to solve these problems, we need to take an integrated approach. And the framework we're proposing does that. Takes an integrative approach. It's a novel and innovative idea, a new way of thinking about a problem, a major health problem that Southeast Asia will be facing, which I also think is a major goal of NIHA.